the idea of doing your best work all the time, and that's specifically the best you're actually able to do,
Yeah.
you know, because we've all got strengths and weaknesses, and so you're always working within your limitations. But like, I've always had the feeling that on a personal level, like, you start with a blank piece of paper and you want to see what's the best thing you can do. You want to see it on paper, because I don't know about you, but when I see stuff in my head, it's like, it's brilliant. and then I draw it, and it's often not as good as I wanted it to be. And there's that ambition to actually, let's see what's the best thing I can do and put it on paper so that other people can see it. But there's also the thing that, from a much more practical point of view, like, you do something and you're limited with the time you've got, as well as your limitations as an artist. But you do something, and at some point you need to let it go and send it back to the editor. And I feel like if you send it off and it's not that good, it's going to get printed and people are going to buy it and people are going to look at it, and people that want to draw are going to study it, and it's not your best thing. And I feel like I'm shortchanging them as well as myself if I don't try at least to do my best work, you know? So, because I remember being a child and looking at like really good artwork, and oh man, it was like, it's inspiring, and obviously I wanted to try and get there. And I mean, I'm sure there's really good artists that knock it out and they do great stuff, and there's other artists that really try hard and they do great stuff, but nobody knows that when they're looking at it. Nobody knows how much time it took you, nobody knows what your page rate was, and that shouldn't matter to either to a casual reader or to some kid or teenager or whatever that's an aspiring artist, you know. I did a studio with a guy, and he worked for 3 different publishers, and the 3 different publishers gave him, they all had different page rates, and the publisher that gave him the lowest page rate, he would set a timer and he wouldn't allow himself more than X amount of time. That makes absolute sense from a time, money management point of view. It makes no sense at all to me from the point of view of me as a kid buying a comic and looking at the artwork. It just doesn't make any sense. And the other thing is, you'll never do it again. You draw a page, doesn't matter what it is, some crappy comic that nobody's interested in, you draw that page, and you need to go back and look at that all the time. Kids study it all the time, you know, like, and you can't go back and change it once it's done. So if you do the best you can with your ability and with the time you've got to hand, that's, you know, you can let it go and it's out there and you feel okay about it.